Okay. Oh yeah, Black Sun in the Hizzle, all for shizzle dizzle. We got an excellent show here today. Okay, so this is the first time I done fixed my horizontal, so I don't no longer have the vertical setup. It's horizontal, so I really like this setup. It's more fuller. I don't have the little black lines, so this was actually a test, but shit, I'm gonna roll with it. I don't have no title, and the sun is coming out right here. I wish I would have parked facing, but whatever. So let's get started, y'all. A lot of things in the news. A lot of things in the news today. A lot of things in the news. So where do I start? Where do I start? So let's start with China. China and the U.S. and the tariffs. So I think I did a show on that, and I spoke on that, and it looks like China is standing their ground. So uh, we'll get back to that at another time. We just what we're doing, we're just observing, and we're getting a feel of what China's going to do, and Americans, we're starting to be conscious of the products that we actually buy from China. Now, I know there was a lot mentioned. I had a discussion with some other people about, Chinese products and um, our dependency and their dependency, our dependency versus their dependency. And I know food is not a dependency we get from China. We do not get our food from China. They get our food from us. However, there are cheap electronics that we do gather from China. There are some computer parts, some chips. Um, there are a lot of computer parts we get from China, as far as our like laptops, phones, headsets. So um, a very interesting dynamic. A lot of cheap car parts, but y'all know where I stand on that. I'd rather buy American parts and pay a little bit more, get a better quality. So that's my take on that. I I I don't per se hold on, let me get some water, y'all. Jesus Christ. I don't really like the parts from China because their quality is very low grade. But you know, Trump is hoping to make a deal with China. He has suspended the tariffs for 90 days, and most of your countries are calling Trump to willing to make a deal based on what Trump is saying. But China is he's saying that China is not, they're a little bit different, and so hopefully Trump is hoping that China will evolve. Xi Jinping and the corporations over there will evolve to be able to negotiate, come to the table, because what's happening is a reset. The reset is happening regardless of what um, the reset is happening regardless of what these countries, however they see it, is going to be a reset. Things are not going to remain the same as far as the trade is concerned. So the reset is happening, and so yeah, the people have to come to the table and renegotiate things. I'm sorry, there's a little glare there, y'all. What's going on? Oh, Pico, what's going on, man? What's going on? What is going on, Pico? It was good to see you this morning. I will be at the BMP stream. I think it's around 9 o'clock. So shout out to you, Pico. Um, yeah, I'm sorry about this glare, man. This glare is causing the damn focus to be fuzzy. See how it's fuzzy? And then, so I do apologize for that. See, It's got the, and then when I do that, boom, the glare fucks, it messes up the focus. So yeah, yeah, that sunlight is bad. Sorry about that, y'all. But oh shoot, how's my volume, pick up? How's my volume? I don't know if my volume's any good. How's my volume? Let me take this out because I'm not sure if let me turn this down. Okay, I think my volume. I hope my volume's good. Get a mic check, mic check, mic check. Don't know if I have a good mic check or not. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, hold on. Okay, y'all. I guess I hope I'm getting. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me, man? I hope I'm not damn silent right now. I hope y'all can hear me. Okay, thanks, Pico. Thank you, man. Thank you. So yeah, what's going on, Pico? What's going on, man? I'm just like I said, lots going on in the news. Lots going on. We got this big reset around the world that's happening with the trade, starting with the U.S. and then um, what this does is offset even other countries dealing with, like I said, you might have Poland, Kazakhstan, Russia, parts of Africa, China, India. They're all going to reset based on our tariffs, and then everything's going to have to reset. So we're going to wait on that. So I'm not going to speak too much on that because we're still waiting on China to come to the table and be willing to negotiate instead of just keep going up, up, up with tariffs. Let's just come to the table. Let's come to the table because with those high tariffs, that will cause a imbalance to the rest of the countries. But well, that would cause China to be isolated from the rest of the world, having such high tariffs like that. So everybody, the U.S., China, Russia, Europe, Africa, everybody just has to come to the table and renegotiate. Just do a reset. You know, do a reset with trade. The world, we are trading. Whether it be aluminum, steel, gold, food in some places. Like I said, China buys our food, which is surprising. I was very shocked because a lot of, like said, Europe won't touch our food. Mexico, which right next door to us, won't touch our food. Canada won't touch our food for good reasons. However, we do have RFK coming in to change the status of our food, meaning he is going to eliminate all the chemicals that cause the cancers, all the uh, all the ingredients, all the foreign ingredients that is really not to be consumed, but a lot of corporations tend to add these additives and whatnot, and it's just making our people sick, and it's causing now it extends the shelf life, but food is not meant to be certain. Yeah, food is meant to be perishable. You know what I'm saying? You got food, and food is meant to go bad. It's not meant to just stay there for weeks and weeks and weeks. And you know, food is supposed to have an expiration date, and by our food not having an expiration date, makes other people, like when people come from other countries, like Pierce Morgan, he said in England, you put a loaf of bread up, and that bread is only good for so long, and then they take it off the shelf because it starts to mold. In the U.S., our bread can sit on the shelf for like weeks. That's scary. That's scary. But we as Americans, we don't think about it until people from other countries tell us, yo, that is supposed to expire. And we're like, oh. That's right. It does make sense. So yeah, bread sitting on the shelf for weeks and weeks and weeks. We don't think about it until it's brought to our attention. So thank the people from other countries for bringing that to our attention. So that's one thing I do appreciate from people from other countries telling us, yo, your food ain't right. However, China is not in the position because somehow, this is what I've heard, that a lot of their food has lead in it. And so people, women in China will prefer getting their baby formula from the US as opposed to having lead. So I can understand that. They would rather deal with the preservatives as opposed to dealing with the lead. The lead is a no go. So um, you know, you don't want to be eating lead, any type of lead in your food. That's just lead is very bad. But one can argue, say the damn yellow number five, the dyes cause cancer. That is obviously bad. So apparently, I guess the news and information didn't get to the people of China about our food because a lot of people here in the US don't know about our food until you start doing a little research. I wish I could block this dang thing out. I'm sorry, y'all. The damn sunlight is ouch. Sunlight is bright. I wonder if I could turn around. But um, Kennedy, which I said I would talk about Kennedy, so let me talk a little bit about Kennedy. So Kennedy has the biggest challenge in Trump's administration, meaning that he's going to attack big pharma and big food. Big pharma and big food, which are two of the biggest things to tackle, in my opinion, in the Trump administration. Trump administration has many facets. You got the border, you got the economy, obviously, the tariffs, and you got him dealing with Ukraine and Russia and Israel in the Middle East and Iran and so on. And so um, once, as you know, I said Trump deals with Ukraine, he'll be able to deal with the rest. You got to deal with Ukraine first, get that situated, get Putin and Zelensky situated with that situation, which I think it is coming to a wind down. Russia has obviously got the upper hand as far as the battlefield, winning the battle in the battlefield, but uh, Trump is trying to come with a resolution, but the EU has a different resolution. Like the EU wants to go to war with Russia, but they don't want to go to war with Russia. I don't. I'm. This is what I'm. This is what I'm kind of. I'm hearing from the Europeans. They don't want to go to war without the U.S. So does Europe wait until Trump is out of office? Because even if Trump does the 4 years and he's out of office, chances are JD Vance is going to win. Whoever the Democrats put against JD Vance is going to smoke. I predict this. You have shout out to Miss Lynn. She did a show on um, people who were Trump supporters, but they are regretting it. That's a farce. I don't even like acknowledging stuff like that. But she did a show on that, so y'all check that out. But what I'm saying is that chances are the Trump administration is going to win in the midterms, and they're going to win in 2028, hands down. Um, because the approval rate based on Rasmussen is showing that Trump is ahead. So that's why I'm just like, how do people go through the what we went through, continue to watch the fake news and continue to get this fake information and still roll with it and not see, like, how do you not see based on the past lies that they're still telling lies and they're continue to push lies. And so I'm just, so I don't, I guess I see things other people don't see. I see the lies, I see the fraudulency, especially running against the Trump administration. But, I guess people just have to live and learn. And I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, I get my information from Rasmussen, who was the most accurate. He called it right on the dot. I mean, hey, but, you know, just live and learn, man. Just live and learn. You just have to tell people what you know, and then you just have to keep it moving. You can't get stuck with people. A lot of people tend to get stuck on social media, especially here in the US. They get stuck with information, and then they keep getting food and food and food and food again by the same people who have lied to them back in the past. And it baffles me. It really baffles me how people, and there's a lot of YouTube channels that do it, and I don't know if it's because bad sells better than good news. I don't know. I I'm here to just call out the BS. I'm here to call out the BS based on the patterns, based on um, the track records, based on the track records. So I see people who, like I said, the mainstream media, they continue to spew lies. And then, but the channels that I watch continue to use them as a reference. And I'm like, you're doing just as bad as they are. If they're telling lies and you keep uh, giving them credits and credence to their lies, then I, I might have to look at you sideways, and I might have to unsubscribe from the channels and look for other sources of information. Like I said, Rasmussen is good information, um, and that's it. I don't know at this point if I even just cut off the channels that keep using the mainstream media as their go-to, as a reference point. I might just have to do that. So um, I have a lot of brand new channels, man. I got brothers from overseas, man. A lot of good information coming from giving out giving out information as far as regarding the Ukraine situation. So yeah, shout out to those channels. I do be posting a lot of their videos. I'll be posting more of their videos. And like I said, most of the channels that keep referencing back to the fake news, I think I'm about to just, you know, take the scissors and cut away because yeah, it gets old. It gets old. It's like, when do y'all figure out the fakeness? When do y'all figure out the ruse, the three card money? When do y'all figure that out? But you know what? I'm not gonna deal on that. I'm just gonna cut away and keep it moving. So as y'all know, I like dealing with the situation in Ukraine. Zelensky, um, at this point, I can't even blame Zelensky no more because I have to look at the people who keeps patting Zelensky on the back, that being NATO. NATO is still stringing Zelensky along. I can't even blame Zelensky no more. I can't blame the Azovs, the Kraken. I got to look at NATO. I got to look at Germany. I got to look at France, and I got to look at damn England, especially England. England, France, and Germany. I got to look at those three countries because they are the heads of NATO as far as what I'm seeing. Because, like I said, Trump is pushing America away from NATO because we don't have the same interests as far, especially when it comes to the Ukraine Russia situation. We don't, we as Americans under the Trump administration, we said we did not, NATO, England, France, and Germany signed this thing saying, that Russia was the aggressor and that they're going to condemn Russia for the invasion. Trump did not sign that. Trump did not sign that. Neither did China. Neither did and speaking of China, real quick with China. Zelensky said that there was a Chinese mercenary caught in Ukraine. China said, man, kick rocks. kick rocks with that. So even though we're in a trade war with China right now, I don't know what the hell Zelensky's doing. Like, what is Zelensky's like? What is his point bringing China into this? But again, I don't know the relations with other countries. I don't know the relationship between China and Ukraine. Don't know. I do know that. Well, it's kind of weird because China kind of has a relationship with Russia and North Korea, and they allegedly say they found soldiers from North Korea. Now they're saying they're finding soldiers from China. Like, what is Ukraine doing? Like, what are you trying to blackmail North Korea? Are you trying to blackmail China? Zelensky, that might work in your country with some of your politicians and some of your generals, but I seriously doubt that will work on Xi Jinping. I just seriously doubt that will work with Kim Jong Un. I don't think that's going to work too well for you. You know, and one can look at that as desperate measures. Like by you making that type of move, you kind of expose yourself for being desperate, Zelensky. But again, Zelensky, I don't totally blame you. I'm gonna put a lot of the blame on Macron, goddamn England, and Germany. Schultz, I think it's Schultz. They're going through a political changes themselves. But what's going on, Fox? What's going on, man? Yeah. How do you like my new look? This is gonna be the new look now, man. Yeah, I'm not gonna have the. I'm gonna have it horizontal. I'm not gonna have it vertical no more. Some now I got more space. Little sunlight is messing up my focus, but um, I'll fix it next time. I'm feeling better, and it looks all right. Okay, good, good, man. I'm glad you're feeling better, man. I know people, man. I'm glad you're feeling better, bro. I'm glad you're feeling better. I can taste food now. I'm tasting stuff, so I'm happy about that because it's weird when you eat food and you can't taste it. That is the weirdest feeling ever in the world. So yeah, thank you. But